Well, football lovers assemble. A very good evening to you and yours. Welcome to it. This is the leading sports show as far as football is concerned on the African continent. It is football on 216. My name is Itumeleng Khosikgadi Khabanda. Yes, I'm back in your company. Always. You know I love Monday night. I always said a Friday night. It feels like a Friday, but it's absolutely a Monday. Would it be dapper? Would it be great? Would it be stellar if I weren't alongside a man, believe it or not, but he is the one out of all of us here who loves going to the gym. His name is Orapeleng Mokhaki. Next to him is the youngest of them all. This is one that he works on television, right? But let me be honest and spill the beans. His heart lives with radio. And next to him is a man who truly loves his job, loves it more than anything else. When it comes to his family, there's nothing that amounts. His name is Ntana Komawe Zalebogang Mahume. Gentlemen, good evening. No, but that's just how I know you guys. I know Sfiso, you love radio more than TV.
Yeah, it is into something. TV, yeah. Hey, ibuyihluphe because abantu bayakubona yabona bayakubona so bayakwazi bafika kuwe lapha ugcina uphendula njengo Scott yama Scott. Yeah, but i-radio lapho ngaqala khona so ngiyayithanda so njalo ngisazobuyela kwi-radio but na i-TV mfethu sengiyayizama kancane kancane ngiyavela
kancane uyavela. Raps, you didn't go to the gym today, mate.
Jeez, man, it had a tough day after yesterday the actionary won go GDL. Wow. Yeah, so it's skipile Jimmy today. I think my personal trainer don't Guatela, but I look
What's your football age?
My football age?
I'm not gonna disclose your real age. So give us your 28. Football age. 28?
28, yeah.
Alrighty. He's 28 according to football, but in real life, you gotta just figure probably double that number. I don't know how old he is. Lives, you love your family more than anything. You're always talking about your family. Yeah. This week was your wife's birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Moshapile ka surprise ke na le kummereko ha tsena mo le ke ipudisa gore mo surprise ke re ya wa bona re tla lapile mara la polo ga same time nyalang.
Listen, nyalang, get married. That's one thing that lives is surely making sure that you do. But one thing, we want you to be part of the marriage that we have with SABC Plus, because you don't just watch us on SuperSport Schools, we also have that partnership, that relationship, and that marriage with SABC Plus. Be part of the conversation. Use the hashtag. The only one that matters is hashtag football on 216. Now, as leagues around the world start winding down, more eyes will be drawn to the Gauteng Development League. This is where our viewership certainly skyrockets, greater than what we can expect. Most of the time, it's just like, I will.
Yeah, no. Ku GDL ilapho esibona khona kakhulu mfethu. Ngizokhumbula ukuthi there was a game namanzi sisemqondweni nami kwaku 20 bani le yaba nabo ma 3 point something million yama views.
I think it was Chiefs and
Chiefs under 13, under 19.
Yeah.
Yes, bakhulu lapho. Hey, Highlands Park no hotletse yang wena khitsela ka maabane. Ya ka ora buile le gore wa utlomela go sampono la from Monato Highlands Park. Ba tlile ka bontsi batsadi go le gantsi we know gore go tla batsadi ba under 13 under 14. But this time around from under 14 go no go bitlela kwa under 19 go tletse tswete. So go bontsha gore batho ba tloela go ilebella GDL mme go itumedisa go bona gore ba tla ba tlo gore tshegetsa ntsala.
Well, Lives has already alluded to that game that took place out at Highlands Park, because that's where we made a stop. But before we get into that, right, let's talk about this. Yesterday was a massive one when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs. Now, the DSCV Diski Challenge was celebrating 10 years of its existence, but that 10 years for Kaizer Chiefs is one that they'll never forget, because for the very first time, they were crowned champions of the league. Now, we celebrate with Kaizer Chiefs as GDL products because a lot of our youngsters play within that Kaizer Chiefs team. First of all, congratulations to Coach Vela Khumalo and Dylan
I get Vela Khumalo na le mo last week Monday. Ka weekend ke ga tsholetse. Ke tlogela
Mawafika la, mawahlala la it. Yabona manje, lo muntu
Ra-
esimphethe lana. Mawahlala la, uzombona national team. Mawahlala la.
Mawahlala la.
La, all right. Enye into sibonile engijabulisiwe ukuthi ba break record 70 points.
Yeah.
Amaphuzu angu 70.
Yeah.
I-record laba breakile. And futhi ngoba ukhuluma, sikhuluma ngabo Billiard, manqoba Ozomeno. Udlala kuya kuphi? GDL, Mphokethang, GDL, The Weekend Special, Matala Makhobo, GDL. Yabona? So i-GDL siyapheka.
The Flash.
Mfethu, kufana nokuthi ukusuka e-primary high school, kancane.
Kancane.
Step, yabona. So yikho sibashayela izandla ba Kaizer Chiefs.
nagana wena kgaitsedi yaka from GDL wa tlhatloga or DDC phela ke under 23
Yeah.
le yona until development
Yeah.
so go sentle go loga go winne development because o ka se bui ka Chiefs e gapileng o sa bui ka GDL ko batswante maka bona re bone ba le bannye
They were winning from there.
bona Mphokethang ra mo itse gore ha tshameka mo it's a star player no bohloko a lalela
Ushaye free kick ngizolo.
And okunye siye sakhuluma la sibuzana sino or masenze game ama 19 ukuthi Mohamed Bauer uzukuphi ngibonile ubelapha naye.
He had his first cap yesterday.
And Mohamed Bauer sits okay. GDL.
GDL. Yeah, well, congratulations to Coach Vela Kumalo, Dylan Shippard, as well as all the players at Kaizer Chiefs. They get to go and play in the next gen competition. They jet off this week. Let's see as to will they be able to win the competition. But apart from that, we'll be excited to know what is the international experience that they will be gathering. From one league to the other, let's come back home. One that we love dearly, the Gauteng Development League. The team made a stop yesterday, and it was at Alexandra Balfour Football Club. And this is where Highlands Park, together with Kaizer Chiefs, went head-to-head. It's one, though, gents, that we weren't it didn't live up to its expectations as far as hype was concerned. Swiss?
Yeah, ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe amajita asazama ukubamba umgqiqo because le mdlalo yana siyazi iHighlands Park neKaizer Chiefs makudlala kuze kudume izulu yakhumbula kunama game amiswa imvula nje ngacancel siyakwazi kudlala kanjani so le game la bengagijimisani ngale ndlela angazi yini beshota but bengagijimisana ngandlela ngoba sibone from under 14 kuyale phezulu futhi under 19 west bengagijimisani man angani mhlawumbe yini into
I think how I feel go under 19 game in too tactical that is why I always see o bona gore yana go tshameka matlhala bo coach yana and le makawana ba thoma go follow the instruction better than ga ba le go under 40 they understand gore what is it at stake for them also championship score 1-0 because Highlands Park they are defending champions under 19 so really they gave Chiefs their run but Chiefs ke feel gore they didn't take their chances because they had the ball most of the time.
And wena mogaki ya go bua rantsa like under 19 ra itse Highlands Park ke di team ene sheba Chiefs go na le bomang go na le bo ka moso mokokosi go na le experience ya mama go di mothata go Kaizer Chiefs mara Highlands Park e tswela pele go bontsha gore with experience le nalo le rona le Highlands Park re khona go re ikarabe ra meeting fetu Sifiso Mnguni gore ha tshwere mo go thata go ratlogele so ne ke se surprised go bona ba latlhegela
go na le ka bona lengwe ke mang Hasha ka number 7 wa Highlands Park ya ba sa nne player mo o montsha me fela no bona maikalelo a gaga gore no o tlo tshameka
yeah enye into sibonile wena itu sibonela phana Egan Freeze udlala against the former team yakhe sibone uKhumo Mutibane edlala against the former team yakhe so into beyenza Highlands Park ukuthi ibe ngaphezulu because siyababona laba nangu Egan Freeze nangu Khumo Mutibane usuka lapha engikhona bamthathile akusho ukuthi nami mangadlala kahle njenge player eHighlands Park mhlawumbe bazongithatha that's why Highlands Park beyiba ngaphezulu isikhathi esiningi.
Yeah, it's the Lions of the North. They roared yesterday, but not as loud as we were expecting them to. It was Kaizer Chiefs that was really stubborn, just to run you through the results that came through. In the under-14 encounter, Kaizer Chiefs secured that 4-0 victory. Under-15, this is the one that I actually want to show you the highlights of, because Kaizer Chiefs secured that 5-0 victory. Now, I want us to talk through that game, actually.
Uyakhumbula ukuthi last year ngile ngasho ngathi kanjena angatholi kahle uJimmy Coach JJ angimthola yabona kulonyaka lona kulonyaka lo
o normal mbani uvukile ka mmotsa ke hey you look tired Jimmy I'm tired of winning
yeah uvukile because siyabona nama under 15 wakhe ayaqala yafaka lapha ko CAF school because ade bebaningi lapha na khona bo sokuthi yamo Musana kusho khona ukuthi khona ayihlanganisayo last year bengamboni kahle hayi disiyakhohle.
I mean, also, Mohamed Bamji has really cooked, right? They're playing at under 13, even though most of them are playing in under 14.
Yeah, ngicabanga abaningi babadlala under 14. La under 15 amaningi kade nawo last year. Ulo ku JJ mhlawumbe bewuthi abesuka ku Mohamed Bamji eza kuyena bebengakatholani kahle manje sebehlale maybe ma 2 years bayatholana baqala manje ukutholana.
That's why continuity is important. And then also go tshameka makawana ba dingwaga di le ko tlase o ba tshameke like go dingwageng tse dintsi yana o itse gore ha o tsena ko bona you don't have a player for 1 year and then what at least 2-3 years on a player then o mo fitisa.
And ha ba tlolana go tshameka mmogo ntse la ke gona go bona ka mogwa ba itsaneng ka teng brotherhood le yone ya gola bond e botlhokwa so Sfiso a bua gore ba ka bana yes ba tshamekile ko Mohamed Bamji ngwa go fitile but ke ba kgalentse ba le teng ba bang so o edile fela so go a bontsha gore the bond deal ke yone dira gore ba gape.
Yeah, let's see as to how Kaizer Chiefs secured that domination up against Highlands Park. Just to remind you of the score, it was 5-0. Right? 5-0. Like, that's it.
Mpama awubheke. Hayi bese phula amazolo lapha. Kuyokathi ngicanga bazobuya lapha abaye lokho iHighlands Park. But ngabona ukuthi asifambe kahle.
No fambe kahle ntsa like.
Konte shodayo.
Also the brotherhood when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs, yeah?
Yeah. Kunentwana bathi number 6 lapha na kulo Kaizer Chiefs lokho idlalile mfethu. Hani kama number under 15, show 6. Yo.
Yeah, not Ntamani. No, I said
Ngizokukhumbula igama lalo bantwana amaphasi amaningi athi stuff sama soup izolo ubona stuff sama soup
Alrighty, the under-17 encounter, it was a 2-1 victory in favor of Highlands Park, and then the under-19s, defending champions, people who we've seen become champions before, managed to hold Kaizer Chiefs at bay and move them to the side, collect all the maximum points. It was a champion score of 1-0. That's the Gauteng Development League, done and dusted. Hopefully this week will be much better. And as we said, we are expecting more people to come out to the games because the leagues are closing and winding down, right? So if you're looking for entertainment and you want to know where can you watch some football, where can you watch some great football, find out as to where we will be making our stops for the Gauteng Development League. Another competition that came and went, it was the WILDEKLAWER Sports Tournament that took place for the year 2025. Now, when it comes to football, this is the third time that they had the football competition, the 16th edition of the competition, and man, oh man, Free State that produces stars.
No, Free State yapheka mfethu. Free State yapheka. Sibone lapha iVirginia High School ipheka. iVirginia High School ihlangene neVirginia Academy. So indlela abadlali abapheka ngayo lapha ilabadlali lapha. Cause ungakhohlwa ukuthi khona uLibesani lapha. uLibesani lo bengilokho ngikhuluma ngaye emanye ama player ngwabonile angadlali GDL but bekhona ku under 17. Sibonile bahambile bawina ama penalty. And futhi into sibone ngijabulisa ukuyibona khona ama college boma respect college. Great college, yazi great college. So if uzowina ilokho kanjena i-tournament kanjena kusho okukhulu ngabo.
Yeah, no, like WILDEKLAWER. I mean, I mean,
making it to the final.
Making it to the final, only host. I mean, that's a good thing. And also, what I'm happy for now, the channel SuperSport Schools, it can expose that grassroots talent in the remis. Beach Bosch as well. WILDEKLAWER bata. Now you can see raw talent. This guy player itlaga. So we wanna look go DDC or we wanna look PSL. Then there's no way quite one thing. Conveyor belt.
Before we are lapha no Lebza sibonga kakhulu abantu abafana nabo Siyabonga. SuperSport Schools Plus. Ngoba ibona abantu abayithola information bekwazi ukuyifaka lapha because siyahlala sisho it's football on 216 akusi GDL on 216. So masithola ama information kanjena makumnandi thinking.
Livs, you were excited about the accolades that came out, right?
Yeah.
As I already alluded, that it was the third time. So obviously winning now, it's just like, okay, maybe I'm becoming defending champion of this title. But let me know, which ones caught your attention?
Khaitsedi ya ka ke tloga go di goalkeeper no se gapileng ke ene Sello Mokhobo wa Virginia High School. So go bontsha gore a gone go ra gapelong gone go bontsha le ene maybe gong ka leng la mala go batla go ipona le felogong. And then ha ke tlhatlogela go defenders wena ntsa like o teng Cronin Willis le ene o tshameka la Paul Cross Gymnasium. So ke batla gona ka bongwe ke batla go ba bitsa botlhe midfielders o teng ka kwana Mpho Mohlokwe Virginia High School le ene forward le Hlonolo Canas le ene Virginia High School. So ile tournament le go ba dominate even le go di awards tsa bona go bontsha gore no man sekolo se se hape.
No, I think but to also ga ba batla bona Virginia High School always engine tournament Virginia Academy e phela le teng. Virginia Academy le Virginia o tlhalositse it's like Clapham Mamelodi Sundowns. That's where you will see the player o go dlala ko Clapham e dlala le Sundowns. Le yona Virginia High School the same. Virginia High School o tlo bona player ko Virginia Sports Academy.
Ngitshela uzosho labo baphekile. Qhubeka.
Siphombule.
Yeah.
Nazo?
Tebogo Mokoena.
Let them cook. Clapham High School coming out third. That's a team that you guys know very well.
Yeah.
Into engifuna ukuyibuza man. Hey.
Yeah.
Yazi amanye ama province awayesabi iGauteng ngebhola.
Do you know what I think it
Like
is?
enza sure. Yeah. Awayesabi iGauteng ngebhola amanye ama province.
Akira no ngwana ntsa like Gauteng gantsi ya gapa.
Yeah.
So every time ha ba tshameka Clapham High School ba itse gore tomagano ya yone le Mamelodi Sundowns City. So ba tlo go improve gore okay man are ba je ba khone go re bitsa lora. So for me how le motshameki ntsa like we promote mo di tournaments ba khona gore ba go bona. So Clapham High School ya ka se bua aba sa e tshaba ga.
Like I'm saying, re rato tshore ke platform to prove yourself. I mean, re bone le ka bona le la ko and kana ke tswa ka Northern Cape.
Oh yeah.
Ka engine tournament ga ba dlala le Sundowns so editseng.
Highly see yeah.
Yeah, ga ba dlala le Sundowns so editseng. So people knows when we versing a team like Clapham, a tshwantse tsoletse dikuso.
Yeah.
Because anything is possible from more and ba lebella di opportunity. Ga nga dlala ko Clapham, GDL, GDC, Premiership, overseas.
Once angena Clapham GDL. Once angena GDL.
But you see, that's exactly why the reasons why people are Gauteng, because it's the fact that we know that you guys are a bit more privileged than us.
Yeah.
So with the little that we have, we want to show you what's inside.
Yeah, bafuna ukubabonisa ingakho yabona manje iVirginia izibeke lapha. So sekunama scouts asizobheka ukuthi okay, obani laba lokhu bebizwa lana lokhu bethatha la wonke lama award bese bebheka bona. Abasabazabi ngoba nama award ithi ngiyabheka iClapham ayikho. Virginia. Yabona. So kusho ukuthi konke ephekwayo lapha na ko Safa Free State if bakhona lapha konke.
Wabona Virginia Academy itswana le KZN Academy. Wabona KZN Academy. Yeah, that's another academy. Le Ubuntu ko Cape Town.
Ubuntu khuluma ngobuntu ngaphambi ngize Ubuntu iVirginia ishawe Ubuntu ku Bay Hill. Bay Hill yashawa Ubuntu ku round of 16. Kusho okukhulu lokho na ku Bay Hill.
Sazopaga, Gyapegwa. We're going to see what's going to be coming out of the Free State. We already know definitely as to the stars that they've already produced, and we're so excited to see who else is still to come. Make sure that you go absolutely nowhere. When we come back, we have a head boy in the building. He's also a star in the Gauteng Development League. What more does he want to be? Find out after this. Well, welcome back. You're still watching Football on 216. This is where we have all conversations about development football, the finest on the continent, and you want to be part of it. Make sure that you join on the conversation online. Use the hashtag, the only one that matters. It's hashtag Football on 216. Now, I did say that we have a head boy in the building. And you know when head boys walk in or head girls walk in, right?
Yeah.
I always feel a witty because I was deputy. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, right? We've got Patrick, who plays out in the Gauteng Development League. He plays out at Randburg AFC. He's also at the King's School at Robin Hills. And also, you're going to find out as to what more he wants to be, because obviously the world is certainly his oyster. But as you know, there's always a good man on the sidelines or a good woman on the sidelines. In this instance, it's a good man who certainly is shepherding him and helping him to make sure that he's making the right decisions, he's getting good grades, but also he's level-headed and making sure that it's not just him, but the other players within the school. Coach Thando Lukolo, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, and yourself?
Good, thank you. Gentlemen, first of all, thank you so much for coming. Patrick, we need to start off with your blazer, sir. Right? Because you've got badges all around. Normally, back in we had scrolls. You now have badges, and it's a white blazer. What does it mean?
So basically, I got nominated as a head boy at my school. So that's why I got my white blazer. But normally, you can get a white blazer for colors, national colors, like athletics, individual sports, basically. But I got mine specifically for head boy.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Coach Ukraine.
Right out.
Mawuthi siyabuza kuqala before siqala coach. Ungayichaza kanjani because ulapha ko UEFA B like awusichazela because mina ngikwazi kuVarsity Cup. Coach masithi uThando Zulu ubani?
Well, Luthando Zulu, I'm a football coach, also an educator at the King's School Robin Hills. At Kayaks in Newcastle, KwaZulu Natal. And then obviously with the love of the game, I actually studied sports science, and then from sports science, I had a passion for coaching.
Yeah.
So kusukela lapho, and then I got into football. Currently right now, as I said, I'm at the King's School Robin Hills. I also happen to be at Vets Football as head of technical there. But yeah, it's just the love of the game. And you mentioned the UEFA B as well. I think it's just all about self-development, trying to be a better person and a better coach as well, so I can try shape the futures of the next generation.
You talk about that coaching, you talk about the coaching licenses that you have, right? To what advantage do they serve you when it comes to working with development football?
Yeah, so I think just like going to school, right? I think I'm taking from your conversation earlier where you spoke about Kalagu primary school, high school, and as you go. So it's just about the level of detail you can go and try and influence the next generation with the type of coaching sessions that you can put out there so that you can try and expose the learners, whether at school level or whether obviously in terms of the other sort of like levels that one is coaching at. So yeah, the levels are very different from CAF to obviously UEFA. And I also think, as I said, it's just about self-development and trying to make sure that I can be the best version of myself, and the players as well that we produce at that level can also sort of like see the game differently as well.
Patrick, maybe chat to me about how does your day look like? Because you seem like you do a lot of things. You had run back AFC, you have swimming there. Like from the morning, what do you do?
My days, it's normal, honestly. I won't even lie to you. I wake up around like 6:30, you know, because school starts at 7:30. So 6:30, I'm up, shower, take like 20 minutes to shower, get ready, arrive at school like around 7:15. Then schooling is for like 10 hours. Then after that, I mostly have extramurals, which is my soccer, or I mostly do athletics. After that, I have some time to go back home, do my homework, then run big training, then get back home, homework again, then bedtime.
Right. You sound like you have a lot of hours. You don't sound like you have 24 hours. How do you balance all of those things? I mean, you are a captain of the soccer team. You have athletics, you have swimming. How do you balance? And then you must study also. You're in matric.
No, I think it just goes down to me being responsible and, you know, keeping in mind what I actually want to do in the future, you know, and just being serious, you know, and just not starts with me, you know, it's also my parents, you know, they like sit me down, like, okay, listen here, if you can just put in these certain hours, you know, you can achieve so much. And like, it's for me, it's for my own doing. So, you know.
That's the big question. What do you want to be?
I actually want to further my studies in sports science, you know, or besides the fact I want to become a professional footballer, but I want to continue my studies in sports science, overseas or UCT.
Where overseas?
Mostly England or Spain.
Ubuka ngathi ibhola ley'kole uyalithanda because from Varsity Cup manje usungapha esikoleni. So maybe mawangitshela the difference mawubheka ku Varsity Cup namanje kule bhola leli okulona.
Yeah, so with Varsity Cup, maybe if we start there, I think obviously because of the structure of USA, you go in December with the university and try and make the top 8, and then the top 8 universities will play varsity football. And then, yeah, it's just in terms of trying to compete so that you can be the best university in the country. And then when it comes to school level, it's obviously now you're dealing with kids or learners rather who obviously, they have to be responsible with regards to the academic side. You also have to partner with the parents with regards to, in terms of the coaching times as well, because from a school setting, then I would leave and actually go to like vets so that I can actually fulfill my duties there as well. So the difference really is all about the fact that you are trying to build in terms of the different sort of like building blocks for the kids in a school setting, while you're also trying to mentor them to also continue and do the academics, while at varsity as well. These are basically students who are studying their degrees and they're also quite focused. So you have to also give them the balance in terms of training sessions. So I actually, I'm living my dream with regards to the fact that from a school setting to another school environment as well, it's more or less sort of like seamless. It's something that I take through right throughout to mentor the next generation.
I don't want to break you guys' hearts, right? But But a couple of weeks ago, we alluded to you guys that the Kiro Halala Cup would be having its first competition for the year 2025, right? I know. You have to say it like that. You have to say it like that. But we sit with Kings, and let me tell you, unfortunately, they have been knocked out. Not things are so halala and glorious for you, but let's just talk about the competition in itself, right? You understand the opportunities and you understand what it does for football. How then would you interpret this whole competition?
Yeah. So for us as King's School, it's our first time that we're participating in such a prestigious tournament. And yeah, kudos to Kuro as well for just inviting us. It was actually, yeah, at the last minute, I would call it. And luckily, there was one space open for us. So from our perspective as King's School Robin Hills, I just wanted to expose my players to something bigger than what we usually are facing in our normal leagues or sometimes even the Christian schools tournaments. So that they could actually be even exposed to simple things like going into a change room before a game. You know, usually where we play our matches, we'll just arrive with a bus because we don't usually play our matches at school. We'll arrive with the bus, get off, do the warm-up, yes. But now we got into a change room. We had the team talk. After the team talk, we walked out.
It's a bit more real, hey?
Yeah. So to expose them to, in terms of how well organized in the background the tournament is like. But also when we play schools like your Kuro Thatchfield, we've never played Thatchfield in our history of football ever since I've been there at Kings. So also to expose them to another school that we have no knowledge of. So how they play, how we plan to play against someone we don't know. And yeah, but it's all about just arriving there, believing in yourself. And yes, as you said, unfortunately, the result...
The 24th of April.
So from your perspective as the captain, what do you think were your shortfall as Kings?
Honestly, I think it was just, the belief, honestly, We had our chances in the first half and the second half, but I think it was just the belief that just came short, Shout out to the boys. We did very well, I think we deserved the win, but, sometimes in football you win some and you lose some. But I think it was just the belief and the hunger to actually come back, because there's many times where we've actually come back from a 3-0 deficit. But it wasn't our game. But I think it was yeah. I really enjoyed that game. Just seeing the boys going out there, just giving it them all, they all, and like it was a really good experience for us, honestly.
I mean, yes, the money doesn't come back home, but let's just talk about the experience, knowing, as coach has said, that everything just felt a bit more real.
For us, it was actually our first time playing in the tournament, as our coach stated. It was a whole different routine, going to the changing room, having our name, the King's School brand already on the changing room, clean changing room, putting on your boots, waiting for the officials to come call you, training on the field, the warm-up and everything. Oh, and the pitch condition was perfect.
Pristine.
I loved it. But, I'm used to those things. But, for the boys, it was, some of the boys, it was their first time playing in a prestigious tournament like this, So, especially, tournament football, especially playing against club schools, like government schools, it's very different because we play Christian schools, So it was a different environment and everything. But I think we learned something new, and we'll take that into the future.
Yeah, Pat, maybe speaking about the different, I know you also play for Randbeck AFC. So what would you say is the difference between playing GDL, and the kind of tournament like Halal at school?
Firstly, I'll say it's the time. Halal, we played 30 minutes. It was 30 minutes a half, right? 30 minutes a half, where GDL, we play 90 minutes. And also, it's tournament football, so it's obviously going to be different to playing a full 90. You have to, change things. You're forced to, actually score a goal in tournament football. Rather than in a full 90, you try and build up, and you stay patient, whereas in tournament football, you're not that patient as much. And also with GDL, for me personally, I think it's, more tactical. You're going for something more rewarding, And like school football, some people, most of them, we don't play club football. Most of them, it's actually their first time, playing soccer, but in a school environment where you're just coming here to have fun. So I think, that's what makes a difference between me playing at Randburg and King School.
Yeah, Coach, let's bring you in here, right? So you get to work with these kids, and obviously you have different leagues that you also participate in from a school's perspective. You have someone like Patrick who comes in, who already is on a completely different level, right? Now, you as a coach, how then do you try accommodate him so that he's not frustrated, but also you don't break the morale of the kids who probably, as you said, are kicking a ball for the very first time?
Yeah, so I'm actually quite fortunate to be in a position where, as a head of football, I've had coaches who've helped us in the program to build the kids up. So in as much as, obviously, in a school level, they're playing for fun, it's mass participation, but we've actually built a very strong foundation with regards to how football should be played. You know, in as much as we playing in a lower level with regards to GDL, of course, but we've taught the kids football. We even sit and have theory sessions as well, where we discuss the game. And we don't try and obviously go over their heads. I mean, we'll talk about a 4-4-2, a 1-4-4-2, how we're supposed to play it, basic organizational forms of this, so that we're trying to build their skill up while we can also push the likes of Patrick and other boys who play for good teams, so that we can challenge them better. So now this is where it comes in, where you have individual man management, even, we can call it that, where I'll challenge Patrick to also be a better leader with how he speaks to his teammates. Because other boys in the team, because they don't play, we cannot expect the same level that he expects in the GDL. So now it also teaches him to be humble as well. Because just as much as he's playing in a higher division, he needs to come back and serve in a school environment and be a good leader in that. But also, as I said, the skill level, we need to build it up with the team, because we cannot then say Patrick is almost like the star player. I believe the star is the team, because 100%. End of the day, when Patrick is not there, but the team still exists, it's like the school still exists. So yeah, we try and build them up in such a way that when we arrive in those moments, he also can shine in the moments where we need him to shine, because that's the beauty of team sports, right?
Yeah. So i-program yeni yasesikoleni senu ibuka kanjani, coach? Because ngoba ubona uPatrick kunabo swimming nabo hockey. Yazi ukuthi kunama-player etimini yakho abenza zonke lezi zinto. So nijima nini? Sithola nesikhathi sokuthatha lama-player uhlale nawo phansi?
Yeah, so into esijwayele ukuyenza, for instance, magni program sijima ngolesibili, ngolesihlanu as well. Ngama Wednesday ilast sithola khona just udlala ama-game. Into esijwayele ukuyenza then is I will always communicate with Patrick to rather say, okay, what is your schedule looking like at Randburg, and even other players? What is the schedule looking like? I would love to have you guys on a match day -1, which is before the actual game. So then we plan, they help me plan in terms of my training session that I will have, which is more team orientated. Then we practice set plays as well, including, because we only have one field at Kings, and this is the beauty of trying to be organized, is we have under 14s, under 16s, and then we have obviously opens, under 19s. This is just high school. We still obviously have the other junior teams. And I'll also even try, I've tried in the past to have a conversation with these coaches at Randburg, so that I, not from my stance, but rather from a prioritization point of view, that we look after the best players in school football, but also they perform at a GDL level. Because in some situations, we've had our school festival, and Patrick had to go and play. I remember you played Chiefs, right? Yeah, yes. You played Chiefs. So we even obviously it's our festival. We try to move around our fixtures so that when we play the tougher schools, he'll be available. But even then, he knows that I still asked him how many minutes did he play, and on the sidelines, I even try and help the boys manage their recovery as well, to advise them on what they should do with obviously ice bath, to advise him with in terms of massage and that kind of stuff. At times, he knows he hasn't been, it's actually been happening right now. He is not playing, 2 weeks ago because of Bay Hill. Yes, because when he comes back from Bay Hill, there's so many matches he's played. I felt I had to manage him better. And as I said, it's not about him, it's about the other individuals as well, how we actually manage the load so that they can perform better. And yeah, that's what we try and do.
Patrick, my favorite thing about football, and I always say it, right, is the brotherhood. But at this point, you and Coach are doing ching chong cha before you guys sat down. Let's just talk about the relationship and how important it is, because most of the things that he's saying, the fundamental and the basis of everything is communication.
Yes.
So how important is your relationship with your coaches and especially with Coach Tando?
You know, I think with Mr. Zula, I think he's like a father figure for me at my school, you know.
Yeah.
Like when I have problems, I'll like actually go to him, you know, not even problems about myself, maybe soccer problems I'm having. I'll just go to Mr. Zula, you know, and say, sir, this, and that, you know. And it just creates a safe environment, you know. And now I know like soccer, if he's not there, I can, you know, okay, I know sir wants us to do this, and that. And it just, you know, creates a great bond between me and coach. And I think with a great bond with the coach, you know, success comes. We can win more titles and everything like that. So, yeah. And then me having a great bond with my coach, it can also lead down to my players and just creates great brotherhood around the team with us and the coaches. So, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe chat to me about how do you keep yourself in check? Because you do a lot of things, but when do you get time to be a kid? Because you're a kid.
Yes.
When do you get that time?
You need to emphasize that part because you are a kid.
Yo, I think my kid days are over. You know, I'm in matric right now, so you know,
It's a bit more real.
there's no time to, you know, like go out and have fun. Now, I basically like to keep in check. I have like a timeline, like diary or like a calendar where I jot the things that the things I want to do. You know, so like my week. It's just school, soccer, weekend, school, soccer. So there's no time to actually, you know, have
But what
fun.
grounds you?
It's probably my background, I won't even lie.
Really? Tell me about it.
Honestly, where I come from, you know, I think it's my dad, you know. My dad is the most, you know, humblest person I've ever seen, you know. Like that guy, like you like achieve so much, but stay calm and everything like that. You know, like even my uncles, they played football, you know, but it just ran through the family. Stay calm and everything, because if you too like over your head, things don't just go your way. So I think I've learned, and my parents have just taught me, you know, staying humble, it will really help you a lot. It will take you through a lot in life and take you very far in life. So I think that's why I'm the person I am today.
Love that.
Maybe coach, ile question ebengimbuza yona because yena uyambona ukuthi akasenaso leso sikhathi sokuthi awumntwana. Wena njengecoach wenza njani ukuthi wo mfethu as much as sifuna ukuwina sifuna ukwenzani but ekugcineni kumele ube nesikhathi sakho ungahlali uyifake yonke lento ekhanda. Wenza njani njengecoach?
Yeah. Okokuqala ngiyacabanga ukuthi kade sengidiscuss ngikhulumile indawo yokuthi ngesinye isikhathi ngikhuluma nabazali bakhe ukuthi ngiba-advise ukuthi ngicabanga ukuthi angadlali lo muntu abheka ama-academics okuqala. Kodwa in doing that, I also am looking at the fact that he also needs a break because the amount of football he's also playing and the responsibilities. He hasn't spoken about that from a school level as a head boy as well. And then, so I try to give him a break from the team as well. He and his friends are not happy with me when I do that, especially when sometimes they want to play and they're injured. But I think the relationship, it's also one of the core values of the school, that we actually have an open sort of like discussion with the parents. They can even bring up stuff to us that also is quite personal, but they can trust us with that information so that then we can see the bigger picture. Because we also, as an educator, as I said, I have to then balance things out. Like, for instance, all right, is it proper that he still plays? And also, I advise him as well in terms of downtime, the kind of stuff that he must actually do. Because end of the day, before he's a footballer, he's a human being. And he has to enjoy himself. He has to enjoy time out of the game as well. And I think this is where now the athletics part also comes in. When he was doing athletics, it was away from football as well. So he's got, obviously, an ability in terms of sprints. So even then, he doesn't win every sort of like relay or every 100 meter or whatever the case. However, him serving the school and him being available for the school also takes time off in terms of football as well. But yeah, it's an open relationship with,
Coach, obviously he has his dreams, he has aspirations. He comes to you seeking advice. You're there to guide him and all. Do you feel pressure, if any, to make sure that you protect the dream and help him protect his?
Yeah, well, as I said, I think the open discussion with his parents, because end of the day, I'm just a mentor. I'm just someone that he bounces off the idea. I always feel that even if he comes with something like a dream, we'll discuss it openly. and I'll tell him my opinion of it. But at the same time, I also feel as if I have to go back to the parents and be quite open with discussing with them. Hey, what do you have in mind for your son? And then I'll give advice according to also in terms of my networking as well. We've spoken to his dad quite a lot. In fact, I think there was a time a scouting video was shared with me by his dad, and then I gave advice with regards to how I think the analyst can take more better footage so that it could be profiled better. And even then to say, these are the options, because I'm also involved, as I said, in varsity football. These are the options available for him in a varsity space. And then even overseas, we've got a few networks and a few coaches that I also work with that I'll say, hey, listen, maybe call this guy. He came once at our training session. He introduced to us in terms of opportunities available. So for me, it's to try and give him enough information in that moment, but try help him also make the decision, because it's also good that he makes it so that tomorrow we keep him accountable to the decision. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's just the space that I think, we work well together. Yeah.
Yeah. Before ngiya Patrick, what's next for Kings? Manje uyazi ukuthi Patrick, one of your star players, uyahamba usuqalile ama preparations ukuthola abanye abashisa, wenza njani bafethu?
Yeah, well, for thina Kings, the way sebenza ngakhona is obviously we're a school that Christian parents bring their kids to that environment, and then sport, we use it as part of character development. Okay. So for us, as I said, I've been there more than a decade. So we've had a program in place to try and develop the next generation from primary school, from like grade 1 all the way up to matric. In fact, even now, 3 years ago, I started a program with the preschoolers just to expose them to skill development and that kind of stuff. So we always have a plan in primary school, and again, expose them to many competitions, and even expose them to club football, to even say, yeah, go to that club or that club. Not because I love that club, but maybe because of distance is close by. But at high school, 14, 16, 19, and even the girls, we even have a girls division as well, is to try and expose them as much as possible. Because, as I said, the team is the star. So if Patrick, just like many others in the past have left, and just like going in grade 8, grade 9 in school, we've had that segment actually happening, yeah.
Patrick, we've already spoken about your dreams, but what are you looking forward to this season as far as football is concerned? Any competitions that you really are eyeing and you're like, this one?
It has to be Engine.
Okay.
It has to be Engine. I really want to win Engine, you know. It's my last year as Engine is an under-18 tournament. So I think myself and my teams, my teammates and our coaching staff at Ramberg, I think we can do something really special, you know. I think we have great players in this under-18 segment, so I think we can really go out there and go very far, even go to Champion of Champs and even win Champion of Champs. So I can't wait for Engine, honestly.
We've got the commentators in the studio. Sfiso Ipalin?
Ile?
Yeah.
Yeah, ngiphalile. And ngiyamthemba ngimazi kudala from ilaphana number 11, Patrick Chisunga. Ulukhumbule lo gama. Ulukhumbule. So Patrick, angazi noma sisenasikhathi ne?
I mean, you can ask one more question. I'll give you that.
Okay, one more question.
Yeah.
Patrick, please look at that camera there and advise someone who wants to be Patrick. I like that. Someone who wants to do sport, be the captain of the team, be the head boy, like be a star.
I think it just goes down to you being yourself, honestly, you know. I think just having the mentality of you not comparing yourself to other people, you know, and just focusing on your mistakes and how you can do better, and just revolving things around yourself, honestly. And main thing, reading your Bible, believing in God and everything like that, praying every day, you know. I think that is something that has actually helped me throughout my whole life, you know, which is thanks to my mom, you know. She has actually introduced me into this Christianity and stuff, taking me to church and everything. So, like, that's something I'm grateful for. So, yeah, just be yourself, continue believing, and continue just working on yourself and not focusing on other people but yourself, and not listening to what other people say about you, even if it's negative.
Hey.
Just stick to yourself.
Hey, I
Makumnandi.
Gents, it's been absolutely amazing. I wish you nothing but the best. Meeting you was absolutely everything. Patrick, you walked in here, we didn't even know who you were because we know you and your kids. It's like, no, we do know you. So thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing. To you at home, you're probably just like me, smiling out from ear to ear. But if there's anything you got to take, is that don't compare yourself to anyone. Keep your eyes on the prize and keep it, well, stay low and stay fiery. We'll be back. Well, welcome back. You're still watching Football on 216, just in time for us to get tactical, right? Substitutions have taken place, and let me tell you, we finished off the game on a high. Orapeleng is back, Lewo's back. Where have you ever seen players go on and off? Happens right here. Koskarin, you're being our super sub, our ace. Good evening.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. We're going tactical.
Yeah, we're going tactical. We're going very tactical. What would we call this formation?
This one is a 21. This one.
Yeah, Sibalile move and just strike.
21.
100%.
Our nyata coach. Our nyata coach.
Yeah, no, today Khoshi Khadi will be looking at the previous games that have been played during the weekend, and which is the newbies, Rockevs, and we had them in studio last season. So I want us to break not their numbers, but their performance down, so that we introduce them to they were baptized.
Yeah, but before we actually even get into them being baptized and being welcomed, and we talk about them, let's just talk about the importance of us talking tactics at this level. When a young kid who's watching football on 216, a player, what do you want them to understand from this segment?
Look, I believe every coach out there, even in the GDPL or even in the schools football, they want their players to understand the way the game has evolved. The game has evolved in such a way that you introduce tactics even at a young age. And there are tactics even in under 6, but those are individual tactics. So when we talk tactics, we talk individually, group, and as a team. So when you combine everything, you get what we are going to discuss today.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Rockevs, gents, I'm going to start with you two because I know Koska knows the answer. What have you guys made of them? What do you think of them? From what you've seen.
So, ha ba dire sentle mare nna if ne ke ba bone ka matlho ne ke tla go raya ke re no man ai ba tla sentle mare ke bona ka re ba tšhakile coach.
Hi.
They're blowing hot and cold, because GDL a go tlala. So I think also Rock have something adjust. I think maybe after 10 games or so, they'll adjust well, because now GDPL, it's tough, yes, I know, but they thought maybe the toughness, so I think they have a lot of work to do. They still have a lot of work to do, because how should the results sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, and how about loser ka score line is where coach if you concede more goals, then you have a problem. So
let's have a look at this clip, and this is a pretty testament of what I am talking about, because Rockevs, I remember last season I spoke about NWU. I was so confident because they were in they are from the Val and they were new. Look at how Rockevs is actually pressing. One man, they're sending one man, and look at the goalkeeper, and look at the area, look at the goalkeeper now exposed. It's a goal. So it basically tells you that there needs to be work there. They need to be working a lot, because in terms of their tactical approach, you cannot send a player to press 3 players already.
I was about to say, do you think that was an instruction by coach?
Not really, but it's momentarily. It happens momentarily. As a coach, I can't set a player for failure, and I believe they want to achieve a lot in the GDL, and they know that they are up against it, right? But let's look at the next moment. You saw what the goalkeeper did. Yeah. Just look at the next moment, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Alrighty.
It's again a defensive blunder, but they are confident. And once you get an opportunity to play a ball from the back, look at the centre backs. We expect them to go wide, and once they go wide, then they open up the middle channel, which is where the goalkeeper will be playing. And that guy, when he slots in slots in such a way that he receives from a pivot, but the same guy that is to slot in, that area must be covered by a pivot, but it's exposed. Look at how he receives, he turns back, and the guy, you see the guy that I highlighted, he was supposed to slot in, and now the ball is played into traffic. So when you play the ball into traffic, look, it's a 4v2 now. That 4v2 always tells you that, okay, look this one, place a one touch. Look at that one that's zoomed in. There's a high pressure there. You can't play a ball one touch there. Already you are losing the ball. One touch, and then your area is exposed. Click, click, bang.
Oh, pressure.
Before ke bua ka so se buileng gone di graphics tsa gago ko.
Coach, the graphics are how get
But that's exactly what the graphics. No, that's what it's about.
La Liga ba rate so hope la ke tshela go bontsha di clips. But then ke batla go botsa ka the clip that just played, ne? The first thing, the passing to the goalkeeper, the ball back.
Yeah.
The little knowledge that I have, if when you pass back the goalkeeper, mo passer on the side, even if I get a mistake, ball but then the pass was direct to the goalkeeper and the pitch is bumpy. Don't you think that was the first risk or clear the lines as well?
The first risk is to actually get into the game without the game plan. That's the first. That's what you see. So I'm not saying Rokevs got into the game without the game plan, but their players don't show confidence when they are on the ball. They want to build, and modern football allows for you to build. But when you build, you will get TS Galaxy, clever teams that will press you very high.
Yeah.
And again, let's look at the goal again. It's from the same
It is
moment.
crazy.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Now you have a ball carrier from TS Galaxy. This guy carries the ball from the central zones, and look at how he carries the ball. Now it's a 7v4. It's a 7v4. This is a rondo. Takes a shot, bubbles onto the keeper. The same player who started the move finishes off
what's
the
the
move.
pace?
How cannot they clear the lines? Baba guy, 7.
It's a
Against
7v4.
four players.
100%.
So Baba would clear the line. There's something wrong there.
No, look, guys, football, it's an opinionated sport. But here, you see it first. Football on 216. We show you the graphics. We show you the performance, how it unfolds. And that, to me, is a no-go area. You can't have 7 defenders and not defend 2 players, because that ball was only played by 2 players. It's a combination of 2 players, but they dominated the central midfield.
Aranong coach, as a coach, what do you say to the players or guys, man? So how do you go back and motivate ba dire better next time?
Look, you just go back to the basics. And what we do as coaches, we want stardom. We want to take the moment away from the player. And I always tell the players that the moment belongs to you. But in order for the moment to belong to you, we as coaches have to teach them the basics. How do they receive the ball? Where do they receive the ball? And are they thinking what actions to make after receiving the ball? So think 2-3 seconds after receiving and before receiving the ball, so that you can be on an upper hand, you know. So it's just going back to the basics.
Man to man. Or I mean, you getting 7 players wandering around. They're not picking anyone. So can
I suggest something, right? I love this tactical conversation, and I know that there are other clips that you wanted to play, Coach. I think every week we're going to focus on one team.
Okay.
Because in that way, I also want us to actually put in the spotlight onto your graphics as well, because I love them.
Yeah, you get it right.
And also, time was not on our side.
No. Look, it's a good point, and we definitely have to do it. But let's look at one more clip.
Okay, one more. Can I give you one more?
Give me one more. Can you?
Hey,
I
can't give you one more.
You can't give me one.
I can't give you one more.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm happy. I was gonna show the penalty that was scored by Patrick, the one who visited.
Oh, yes.
Scored a penalty.
Can we keep it?
We'll keep it for next week.
Yes.
Let's keep it for next
Sorry, Pat. Sorry, Pat. But gents, it's been absolutely amazing. Just like that's another episode on Football on 216, done, dusted, and in the bag. We are because of you. Thank you so much for watching us week in, week out. Use that hashtag throughout the entire week. It's hashtag Football on 216. Lina laka kitimeleng khosigadi ya gabada re dirile go lekane o rapeleng mogaki lebogang mahube tsuso mohle konke msimango. And as you know, if you've never been to Brazil, we've got Cascarinho. Good night.